Hi everyone and welcome to Let's Play Again. Today we're actually going to talk about a sequel to the game we featured in the last episode called Aerobiz, and this time it's called Aerobiz Supersonic.
Yeah, it's no longer Aerobiz, it's Supersonic.
Yes, and there's even a difficulty to reflect that.
But we're not going to choose it because we're not crazy. Sorry.
No, I don't really fancy going against some really difficult computers.
Yeah, Supersonic does sound pretty threatening, honestly. I don't know if I would want to go Supersonic.
So you'll instantly notice that the regions have a ton more locations. That was Europe, and there were probably about 20 to 25 locations, whereas before, Europe had about 4.
Yeah, and also you used to be able to see the whole map at once, but now it's kind of limited.
Yeah, because there's so many
you can only
locations.
see the one location. Yeah. But you'll see from the first game that it's definitely has improved, at least graphically, somewhat. Yeah,
the menus look a lot nicer, and they're a lot more fluid.
Mm.
You can even use lowercase letters.
This is definitely an interesting sequel to a game that we didn't really expect to like, but we actually did.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of games in my life, but I never thought I'd be playing an airline management simulator, and now I've played 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of partial to simulation games. I mean, I love The Sims and I love SimCity, but this is definitely different from both of those, but it actually can be just as addictive.
Yeah, and you'll notice that we have our androgynous woman back again, and this time she didn't say, "President, welcome, congratulations on your promotion to CEO." She just said, "Congratulations on your promotion to CEO."
So I guess they took the note from the first game.
Yeah.
So it was probably like, oh, yeah, that's not really right.
Yeah, so you'll notice that in this one, whereas in the last game they actually gave you some good slots and good locations, like I had Nairobi and I think I had some in Tokyo maybe?
Yeah, Moscow.
Moscow.
As well.
So this time they have major and minor locations. So right now I'm trying to get slots in Moscow because they start you off with minor locations. Like I can do a flight to France, which is not going to give me any money whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very pointless.
So it's better to just make negotiations now and be able to make flights later rather than waste money.
So you'll notice I'm actually playing this game a bit differently because of that. So last game I made some routes straight away and started making money in the first couple of turns. This time I'm literally just going to try and get slots in the different regions. So I'm going to get one in Tokyo, I'm getting Moscow, I'm getting New York. So I can kind of broaden my way around, but I'm not actually going to make any routes in my first turn because the routes I can make are not profitable for me because they suck.
Yeah, and with that, you're not really going to make any money because you're just strictly making negotiations. But this is all leading up to a possible good income.
Yeah, I also went for Rome here because if you notice from the beginning there was an airline that was also based in Europe with its home base in Rome. So it was kind of like an FU to them.
But they can kind of do the same. Like, they could even go off yours.
Yeah, and they actually do that in one of the later turns. They make a route between Rome and London, which I guess they're just sheep, really.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't necessarily play nice in this game.
No, and it's a lot more restrictive as well, because you're only allowed to have a certain amount of... Well, like, for example, if you have more than one regional hub, like if I had Moscow and London as different regional hubs, I can only have one flight into the region. It's a bit weird, so like I can't fly from Moscow to Tokyo and London and Tokyo. I can only do one. And then
that's pretty easy.
Yeah, and because there's only a limited amount of slots in the world, like the more you play the game, the more it actually becomes crucial to use your resources as effectively as possible.
Yeah, definitely. So would you say this game is harder or easier than the first game?
I'd say it's more strategic. And on that note, if you'll notice, like a minute ago I was actually selling an aircraft, and the reason I did that was because it was from a different manufacturer. So I have a load of B777s, and they're made by Boeing, whereas the other aircraft that I just sold was made by Airbus. And if you have your aircraft all made by the same company, they actually give you a discount when you buy new aircrafts.
So you kind of get a little glitch there.
Yeah, this guy, man, I was watching a guy on YouTube, and he managed to find it, which was a pretty useful tip, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, Boeing 747s cost 150,000 flat rate, and I get a discount, so I get them for 135,000.
Yeah, so that's pretty nice.
Or if you're buying 10, that's a big saving.
Discount. Oh, yeah, definitely. Good glitch. Good glitch, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not a glitch, it was probably intentional.
Yeah. Intentional glitch.
Yay!
Yay!
So have you noticed I did
so
absolutely
see,
nothing?
Yeah, we're not really doing anything right now. We're just kind of going through, waiting for our negotiations to go through so that we can actually do something substantial.
I'm letting all the other companies spend money and have fires with their aircraft engines, which is not good.
I think if that happened on my flight, I would probably never fly again.
But would you fly with an airline called Bangkok in the first place? Just Bangkok, not Bangkok Airlines, Bangkok.
Probably not. I'll stick with Gun Air, even though that's kind of suggestive too, considering it's gun and it's an airplane.
Shh. Hey, I've actually had a lot of compliments on the airline name Gun Air, so if you don't like it, then there's a door over there. You can go and use it.
Oh, thank you so much. Except my room's on the opposite side, but I guess that's okay.
Yeah. Some people actually said that they wished Gaming Union did actually have an airline.
It might be interesting. I'm sure we'd get quite a lot of profit from that.
Yeah, and I don't think any other publications around the world have their own airlines.
So let's do this, you know? Let's make a gaming website airport. Or airline, rather.
We can make people listen to episodes of LPA instead of movies.
That'd be so great.
So I'm actually setting up some routes now,
flight attendants
and it's fairly similar to the last game. You select how many aircrafts you want, you say how many slots you want to use, and then you set the fare. What's different, and I don't actually touch on it in this demonstration, is that after you set up some routes, and if another airline has exactly the same route as you, you can see how well you compare against them. So you can see if they're making more profit than you. If they are, you can see why. For example, you know, if you've both got flights to New York, and you can also see how full the planes are. So for example, if your plane is only 22% full and there's a 25% full, maybe you're charging too much money. It also means that you should probably decrease the amount of flights so that you don't spend as much money on fuel, that kind of thing. It's actually got quite a lot of depth.
Yeah, it seems like they went into a lot more detail this time around. Because remember, I said last time, how can you tell like how many people, or how can you tell like what's inside the plane or something? I know you still can't necessarily tell what's inside the plane, but the fact that you can tell what percent of your plane is full compared to the other.
There's prettier graphics as well. Like when you're doing slot bidding, you can see how many slots other airlines have got. You can also see how effective your on face value, how effective the route would be. So for example, this is Athens. In the top right hand corner you can see that they have different statistics, and their tourism statistic is really high, despite the fact they're not even at like a main hub.
So it's definitely a place that you would want to check out then.
Yeah, so you basically need to like scout around the world to try and find places that have got really high quality things. And this thing here is like the boardroom, and they'll actually suggest things to you. So like you can say, I want some advice on new routes. Oh, London to Athens. Maybe I've already done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, they're also saying that I should go to Tokyo, something which I'm already doing. So they're probably not earning their money that well. So one of the cool features in this one, I think it might have been the last game actually, but it's a lot more extensive now, that you can go to different areas that you own, and you can look for different business ventures. No, I think it was in the last one, because I remember I'd been in a hotel and it did absolutely nothing. But now you can
Well,
open
definitely
hotels.
The ads. The ads. were
Yeah.
bad, but
So generally what a good idea is to open a hotel in your main hub, because then like if you've got connecting flights, so for example my route from if I make a route from New York to London, and then I also have a flight from London to Rome, if people wanted to fly from New York to Rome, they could stay over in our hotel.
exactly. Which definitely gets us a ton of profit, which is very nice.
Buying 5 Boeing 747s does not make us a ton of profit.
But
Expensive.
it's definitely awesome how detailed this one is compared to the other one.
I love that, like, as you go through the game, you'll notice that the different routes appear on the map. So and you can start to see it here as well. The airlines are making different routes, and they appear as small black lines on this world map. And as you get through the game, it gets absolutely nuts, because when you're actually playing it and not on this bit, all your competitors' routes show up as well. It's ridiculous.
Oh gosh. So just a bunch of lines.
Yeah, especially if you have the same routes as other people, because then the lines just appear as like solid black. You'll start to see it happening as this as this demo goes through as well. Yay, profit!
Yay! We're still not being Bangkok, but
No,
or
but
Air Roma, but
we
we
had
are
more-
being Indo-Air.
We had more passengers than Air Roma, and that's all I care about. And as you can see, we're now #1 in Europe.
Yay! Go us for being #1 in Europe.
And we own a grand hotel in London.
I wonder if it's a Hilton or something.
Passengers can use it for connecting flights that we don't have.
Nice. So
It was more
that
of a
means
long-term
lot of
investment.
profit. A lot of profit from that, pretty much.
Yes, when we actually get some connecting flights.
Which we're going to try and do right now.
Yes, we're going to make a route between London and New York, and hope that people want to fly that way.
And want to fly to Rome.
Without using Air Roma.
Yes, exactly.
Because Air Roma are horrible people.
We're
I heard the
much more
CEO was actually
trashier.
having an affair with someone.
Was it what's her name?
I think it was what's her name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I was totally thinking Hillary Clinton, but that's just me.
Well, no.
Okay. Alright.
I think that's when Aerobiz gets. Maybe if they made another Aerobiz, they could have things like that in the game. Just taking the simulation one step further.
Airline entrepreneur caught in affair. Fired from job.
Hey, in this day and age, they'd probably condone it.
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting now, like the music's all different in the different areas.
Yeah, I find it quite funny that the Southeast Asian music is very stereotypical. Well, I guess it's so you know where you are. But the European music is very generic.
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't really do anything specific because there's so many different stereotypes in Europe.
But then you go to America and it sounds like a regular song. I don't know what song it is.
It sounds very
but
traditional.
It sounds familiar.
You'll
Well,
notice that we just made our
interesting.
route to Tokyo as well, which I made at the end of the last video too. So it's kind of a symbolic thing. I did it intentionally.
Oh, it's all coming back. It's like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should notice that now a lot of the routes on this bit are actually getting a lot more full, and we are the #1 for inter-regional flights and Europe.
Definitely awesome. We are definitely so cool. Not
Yeah,
for the
except
Middle
we're
East though.
Or Southeast Asia. Maybe one day.
Bangkok can have it. You know?
But we're absolutely pooing on Air Roma, which is all that matters.
Yeah, totally. Especially since we're stealing one of their routes. Cha-ching!
Domination, I believe, is the correct term.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Play Again. Join us next time when we talk about Afterburner. This has been a GameUnion.net production.